All right, we are back. Final hour here coming to you live from Tampa last Wednesday at the Apex in Las Vegas. But what we're about to do, we couldn't have done last week because Yves Edwards was not in Las Vegas.
I couldn't be, man. Las Vegas it's a fun place. It's not my town. It is the place that I met you, though. So
Vegas is where we met?
Special place in my heart, yeah. Yeah, I think it was 33 and a half, 33.
Well, yeah, there was only one half. It was 37 and a half.
37 and a half, that's right.
That was Chuck, I think Babalu. I think it was Chuck, I know for sure it was 37 and a half. And then a boxer that night, it's funny the things you remember. There was a boxing match at MGM and he died that night. He walked down on the street from head trauma.
Okay.
You know,
I vaguely remember that, yes.
How you doing? What's new? What's going on?
Man, what's new? Nothing's new. I'm old now, so nothing is new.
Oh, okay.
Nothing is new.
How old? How young are you?
48 now.
Okay, that's not old. Just so you know. But you know, and again, I say this with all the love, and you know I love you. At least I can't say to you like I do the other fighters, I've been married longer than you've been alive. So
I'm lucky about that one. But no, you gotta come by and tell all my young guys that because they make fun of me all the time. They're like, you don't put on your gloves, man. You're too old to get in here.
You're gonna get hurt. You're so old.
Yeah, it hurts a little bit sometimes.
So tell me, I guess Adrian's your fighter? Is he from your gym? Or?
Yeah, so Adrian Yanez, man. Adrian Yanez trained with my former coach Saul Solis,
right?
And you know Saul,
yeah.
I was moving back home. I was planning to move back home to Texas, and then bad things happened, and through the COVID, and Saul got sick, and he passed over that. And when I got back, I just started coaching at Heritage Muay Thai, running in my MMA program there, and went to the UFC that was in town. I think I saw you there too, and
we ate.
That's right. Yeah, we ate before that. I was thinking about at the event. That's right. We went to barbecue.
Right.
That's right.
Of course.
But yeah, I ran into Adrian at the event, and Adrian ran up on me. And Saul has always been a real one. Like he's straight shooter. Like nobody shoots him straighter, you know. And Adrian was like, "Yeah, man. I would love to train with you." I talked to Coach Saul, you know, he's just like the only people he ever said were legit were you and Corley. So and Corley and I were together at this point. So Adrian was like, "Hey, man, we'd love to get some work in with you." And I was just like, "Yeah, let's do it." And just kind of evolved, and we built a team out of it. And now we've got Adrian Yanez, Cameron Smotherman just got his UFC shot and won his first his debut. Rafion Stotts, and then we got some young up and coming guys that are going to be fun to watch grow through this, man. So yeah, the Thug Jitsu University is where we are.
So they know that you're a fighter, but do they know how bad you were back then? The kick to the head, all that kind of stuff.
Some of the older guys
have to whip it out.
Sometimes I got to pull it out on the young bucks, but Cameron Smotherman, man, he's the one that he's a ball breaker, you know, and he's young and tough and smart and good, so he gives me a hard time every chance he gets. But I love that guy. He's like my adopted MMA son. You know, we get that look all the time.
But when they give you a hard time, tell them just watch Saturday night's pay-per-view or Saturday night's whatever. Just watch the opening credits. That's all you need to see. I remember I texted you as soon as I saw it the first time. How cool was it to know? And they change it all the time, but you're always in it.
Right. I feel like I don't know exactly when the modern era started, but every time I see it, I feel like there are things that are gone. I'm like, that's besides Hoist. I feel like that's the oldest thing on there, you know. I think there's the huge slam, and I don't even remember. I think that might have been the same event, but I'm not sure. No, Matt didn't fight on that event, but it's really close to that time. So there was it feels good when I see that, and of course you only see it when you're in the arena. So whenever I'm in the arena and that comes up, I watch it. I'm like, I wonder if they took it out yet. And what is it? It's 20 years later now, 21 years. So, yeah, I feel good about that, man. It's a proud moment for sure.
I know, Matt, you got something to say, but I want to ask you this in a way that if you don't want to answer, we don't do it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm never, you know, I don't know, you know me, I never throw, especially you, I would never throw anybody under the bus. But I sent you a photo of something about a week ago. Do you remember the thing I sent you a photo and you came back with the greatest answer ever?
I remember. Wait. It's so again. I'm old and I got hit in the head a lot. Right. Okay. I remember you sending me a photo.
You're not old, but yes, you've got hit in the head about.
And I remember there was a scorecard, and was the other thing.
No. Just
Oh
your
yeah,
response.
it was this. Yeah, that's right.
What was the
What was my response?
Oh, you're okay with I said?
Yeah,
you sure?
yeah, I'm sure.
All right. So it was the fight you fought Edson Berto.
Uh-huh.
And I happened to find the scorecard going through my garage.
Okay.
I'm trying to clear out, you know me, and get rid. You want me to?
Yeah.
I couldn't get rid of it. I still have it. Well, it was a 10-8 round. Only it ended. So your response was it would have been a 10-8 round if he stayed awake.
Yeah. I mean, the 8 was because he was unconscious.
Well, you saw that with Sean O'Malley at the press conference. I think it was against Algerman. I think he was like, oh, some of the judges said that you lost the first round. They go, what did they say in the second round?
Yeah.
Because he ended the fight.
Exactly.
So-
He was winning. He was losing until he won.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
what one of my older co-hosts, Joe Marquis, says about Chael Sonnen. He's won every round he didn't lose.
100%. I feel like Chael may have said that himself
Probably.
at some point.
Probably.
So you've known Randy a long time. I've known Randy a long time. This is the first time we've really got to sit down and like connect, So one thing I like to do to make Randy squirm, because that's my fun.
Well, but hold on a second. I'm going to say it before you say it. I would find it highly unlikely, and it would hurt me badly if he would do anything to make me squirm. But go ahead.
Okay, so I'm 48 as well. So I'm your
Okay.
age, okay? And I don't feel old. I feel 18. I mean, I do all the biohacking. I do all the preventative. And when we go to events, if we go to golf, I dress as a golfer. If we go to see John McEnroe, I brought my tennis racket and I brought my outfit. So today, I brought a mouthpiece. I got a cup. I got a UFC outfit on. I want to fight in the octagon. I want to feel what it feels like to be a pro fighter. Randy thinks there's no way, but if somebody can't make it, I'm here. What do you think?
There's no way.
No,
There's
no way.
There's not a single person on this event on Saturday night that I think you would survive.
What
3
about
seconds
Emily
with.
Arena? I could
No.
fight Emily Arena.
And I was going to say, I'll even throw in you can't beat red corner or blue corner.
Yeah, I have to go with Randy on this one. I'm thinking I don't even know if you could beat the corners
not even a
of the
chance.
guys. Not
Okay, we played a carnival game earlier. Guess the weight. Like, what do you think my weight class would be? Like within 3 pounds. Like if this is a game show, you win these glasses if you're within 3 pounds.
You mean what do you weigh now?
Yeah,
or
what do I
weight
weigh?
you would cut
Right
to?
now. Like right
Right
now,
this
if I went
second?
into the octagon right now, ready to go.
You're probably about 178 pounds.
Okay, more importantly, let me ask you this. Put those glasses back down for a minute.
Why? You didn't win.
Put those glasses back down for a minute. Put those back. Okay, move them a little closer. All right, grab those glasses for a minute. Yeah, just grab them for a minute. You want them? Keep them. They're now yours.
Yeah, you can take them back if you want.
All
Yeah.
right.
You can
Saturday
try
night.
to take them back.
I'm ready. Put me in, coach. Let's go.
Hey, if we talk to Sean or Mick and they'll and the commission will approve it, like we could get in there, Matt.
Let's do it.
I'm down for one more.
I'll come down to 171.
All right, hold on. This is what we'll do. Okay?
Okay.
I will help you do that after you roll and get the crap kicked out of yourself by Yves.
Done. Deal.
If you survive, get that.
I have my Jitsu golden egg right there. I'm ready. I got my triangle built in. Let's go.
Yves, are
All
you
right.
available on Wednesdays to co-host this show?
Yeah, like a remote call in.
No, like I can get rid of it.
I'm with it. We'll change our practice hours.
I'll move out there, whatever it takes. So, how much time do you now spend in the gym? With this team, is it more than being a fight? People don't realize that it takes more time and effort, to run a team, to be in a gym, to run the gym than just being the fighter.
It's so different being a coach, and yeah, you're there a lot more often because you're looking out for a bunch of different guys at the same time. Fortunately, though, like say with those guys that I mentioned, Rafael Stotts, Adrian Yanez, and Cameron Smotherman, those guys they came up and they the position they're in now, they know what it takes. So they don't take a lot of work. It's just about focusing with those guys, but it's the younger guys where we have to put in more time and get them ready. And but I do love it. It's so weird. I was talking to Adrian about this yesterday. It's like it's a feeling that I know and I love, and I would like to do it again. But as every day goes by, it's like, yeah, it just gets more and more. It's unlikely and further away from stepping back into competition. But that feeling was so much fun, and it's like it's like one of those things where it's like, it's never going to happen again. It's one of the best feelings in the world. I remember I had an underground fight a long time ago, and I look outside the cage. I'm on top of this guy. I'm dropping down punches, and I'm just this kid coming up, and Tank Abbott is literally like 3 feet, not even 3 feet away from me, 2 feet away from me on the other side of the fence, and I'm raining down punches, and I spread my base. I'm in the mounted position, and I look over, and I'm catching my breath, and Tank goes, "Relax, it's just like sex." And I'm like, so I think about that now, because it's like, it's a feeling I'm never going to have, but it's like, just imagine never being able to have sex again ever in your life. And that's like, that's kind of like how much joy I got from competing and winning.
But when you say competition, are you talking like just a jiu-jitsu tournament, or are you talking this full MMA
experience,
fist fight?
Yeah.
So I've done a few jiu-jitsu matches since, and they're fun, but it's not the same. It's not the same as going out there and submitting a guy when everything's on the line, or knocking a guy out when everything's on the line and walking with your hand raised. There's nothing as competitively fulfilling as that I've ever experienced, man. Yeah, I miss it. I've definitely missed it.
So would you be a fan of perhaps like weight classes like they have in bodybuilding, like, like an age class, or by height or by weight? Like if you did something with guys your own age with the same years of damage and kicks to the head and such, would you feel like it would be something you would do to get back in there?
I would not be opposed to it, but
Yes.
Right now I'm just living vicariously through. I have some good guys, and these guys are they're like family now. Especially some of the names that I mentioned, some of the guys that were on here, or I didn't say their names yet, but when they win, I feel it. It's like when Dustin, when I'm there with Dustin, or even now when I'm watching on television and Dustin gets himself a win, it's I feel that. And when I'm in the arena, it's even more so. So it's the closest feeling I get is when Adrian walks away from somebody after he clips him, or Cameron gets himself, or Rafael gets himself a win. So yeah, it's still close. It's not quite the same, but I can live with that.
Earlier, Matt, you asked one of the fighters that came in about what these athletes go through to prepare for a fight.
Yeah.
I don't remember much.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
cold
days,
tub, sauna, red light.
I don't remember any of that. But I do remember at Mandalay Bay, this will stick with me until the day I die. I go to grab something to eat. It's a long table, and I'm sitting 1 or 2 away from Yves, and he falls asleep while he's eating, which is a combination of everything. It's a combination of the fight, the exhaustion.
Sure.
And people don't realize all of that. All they realize is you in the cage, you fighting for that 15 minutes or 25 minutes or whatever it was. But when I looked over to say something to you and you were sound asleep, it sticks with me in the back of my head forever.
But that is a thing. But even to this day, I can sleep anywhere.
Oh, so can I.
Yeah, like now it's kind of like the age and the narcolepsy or whatever. But like I can sleep anywhere. I've fallen asleep in nightclubs at times. But yeah, no, it's exhausting, man. Especially fight week, and just being able to rest your body and get prepared to bounce back and go at it hard. Like it's worth it all in the end, for sure. For sure.
I went to a couple events in Vegas last week. So I went to a hockey game. I flew in that day. I got up at 4 a.m. I flew to Vegas, all that kind of stuff. And I was standing up in the top. I don't know if you've been to a Knights game, but there's like an area up there with some food and whatever. And I'm getting tired. I've already eaten. So I went. I picked a seat. I don't believe this. It's like, do you snore? Well, I've never heard me snore. So no, I don't snore, but you snore, right? So according to Greg Hendrick, if you remember Greg Hendrick, he said after the 5th time that you laid your head on the lady's shoulder, that you were sound asleep, I moved over. Well, I don't really believe that, but I've gone to Jabberwockies.
Yeah.
Fell asleep.
Okay.
It's pretty loud.
So,
fall asleep.
That's crazy.
Here's a pro tip though. If you go with Randy to a UFC fight, let's say Madison Square Garden, and you fall asleep in the Uber on the way to the airport, he pays. Free rides.
I'm with it. But I mean, you know what? I'm gonna have to pay for Randy's ride, even if he falls asleep, man. Randy's taking me into some pretty fun events, and so I had some good times with Randy, man. I'm not even a baseball fan, but I enjoyed the All-Star game when it was in Houston. He asked me if I wanted to come down to the All-Star game, and I was like, oh man, this is awesome. That was a great time. And then even bigger and better than that, Super Bowl. Carolina Panthers, and the New England Patriots. That thing was that was one of the best games, and it was a whole lot of fun, man. I appreciate that, Randy.
Yeah.
And getting on the field afterward, I remember thinking, man, these guys are huge.
Yeah.
These guys are huge. I'd seen football players before, but like when they're fully padded up and everything too, like Vrabel and Willie McGinnis are standing right there, and I'm just like, these guys are bigger than heavyweights. This is ridiculous.
I watched a game. I don't know if it was the Monday night game. I think the lineman was like 6'7". Like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been there. We've seen them. I mean, I've seen 6'5",
Yeah.
6'7", 6'8". Can you imagine a hockey player? And there are that are like 6'5",
Yeah,
6'6",
Pete Worrell
and
was.
then on skates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pete Worrell was an enforcer. He was like
It's
6'7".
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
6'10"
nuts.
with skates on.
Human beings aren't supposed to be that big, but whatever.
And that mobile and that fast. I mean, speed kills, and they're moving that kind of mass.
Yeah. That's like a truck hitting you.
Yeah.
How different is MMA, the UFC today, than back in the day, when we met? I mean, it's different in many aspects, but what's the first one or two that come to mind for you?
Man, the biggest thing that comes to mind for me is just the volume of quality guys out there. Of course, in my day, the sport wasn't as big, and so the amount of people that could compete at this level, it didn't exist like it does today. So now seeing this, I mean, even with that being said, there are some guys at this level, and I'm just like, ooh, man, if I was 35, you could get it. But there are some guys that I see, and I'm just, yeah, I'm 48. I'm good. I'm good. So, but I mean, it's still, that's also, I'm sure a lot of that is still in my head, just because of the level that I was able to compete at. But just the volume of quality guys and quality players. Last night we were working out, and there was this young man, I don't remember which one it was, but it was
Red corner.
Yoel Alvarez. And he was working out, and I was just like, that kid is like 6'2" or something, man. I had 150. I was like, that's a 55er. And he's like 6'2", and he's like tall, long. Yeah, he's thin, but like that range that he has, and it's just like, we didn't have as much of that in my day as we do now. So just guys are bigger now, the variety and the skill level. It's fun to watch, man. It's super competitive, seeing these guys come up, knowing the sport. And then that's the other thing. Like martial arts, there's so many disciplines of martial arts, but mixed martial arts now, it's a discipline of martial art. It has different styles within it. Like there's a bunch of different kung fu styles. There's a bunch of different karate styles. Well, there are a bunch of different mixed martial arts styles now. And mixed martial arts is its own discipline. And the different styles that have evolved throughout the sport, man. Just being able to see all of that come together and how guys mix it up. It's so different, and the sport is way beyond what I thought I would see in my lifetime. So I'm appreciative that I've been able to stick around long enough to see it and still be a part of it too.
Have you ever, because a lot of times athletes or fighters like, no, my time was my time. Have you ever thought, if I was in it now, if I was 26 now, if
100%. I mean, I guarantee you when Dr. J looks at like LeBron James now, and it's not necessarily even watching LeBron play, but like just knowing what LeBron is getting paid,
Yeah.
like compared to what Dr. J got in the early 80s and 70s. Like that's a huge thing. And it's like, man, but then you recognize, like this, if this is a house, I look at it like this sport is a house. And, I built some of these rooms.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like these guys, I was a part of getting it to where it is today. And, I'm appreciative of that. That's a big deal to me.
what I found funny is as I was thinking that, I'm thinking Topps trading cards and Yves is thinking money.
Yeah. I mean, cause like, yeah, you can hold on to those trading cards forever, but like that money, man, money's nice.
No, for sure.
Money's nice.
Absolutely.
So like we're old, but we're still young enough to know like what giving your flowers are, right? Like
Yeah.
So Randy, I started doing years ago, giving him his props like live. Dana did it, called him the OG of the UFC, rightfully so.
I had to ask him after when Dana left, what does OG mean?
He thought it's that old guy.
I had no idea.
But recently, Randy was recognized for his dedication to the sport
Let's
by
go.
Hall of Fame status for the Florida Mixed Martial Arts Hall of Fame.
Let's go.
So congratulations to the OG,
Let's go, Randy.
Randy
My
Harris.
man.
Because
For
look,
sure.
this weekend here, Randy was one of the first guys that I knew that was promoting MMA
100%.
and was bringing it to NFL locker rooms and incorporating Chuck Liddell and Randy Couture into other sports and then getting to know the personality behind the fighter. And so he's been doing it since number one. And here we are in our hometown celebrating the UFC arrival this week. It's a big deal. And Randy, you built rooms in that house as well. So congrats to both of you guys. OGs, I'm proud to know both of you. And this is an amazing sport.
as I asked you about back in the day, one of the things that hurts me, Ryan Bennett.
Bro, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was literally
Mask.
thinking about him right now because if Ryan was still here, like I could just imagine what you and Ryan would be doing. And like, man, Ryan was the man. That's crazy.
I met his widow not too long ago for the first time.
Yeah.
You know, we all helped raise all that kind of money back in the day, and when we went out, the UFC or bare knuckle was out there. I don't remember which. And we went to dinner and hung out a little bit, which was cool. And, you know, she thanked me, which she didn't need to do. It was you guys that did everything. But it's one of the, it's life. I mean, things happen and, you move on. But I think about Ryan a lot.
Yeah.
And, Ryan did as much, if not more, than what everybody thinks I did.
100%.
But, he was big at, bringing it in when nobody cared. He was on FCC, as a sports director and brought Chuck in all the time. And,
100%. Man, for those of you who don't know, newer fans of the sport, if you don't know Ryan Bennett, if you know who Chris Berman is, or if you take John Anik and multiply that by like 1,000, and only because Bennett was in from the beginning, but Anik is, I would put Anik at the top of the MMA broadcast field, and Bennett was the guy who would have been that guy, but just been in it for the entirety of the sport.
We believe, and we don't know this to be true, but he did work for the UFC, and he would go in and do interviews, and we think that he got let go because he was too good looking. Seriously, he was a good-looking dude, and then he goes in and interviews after a fight, and blood all over, and ugliness, and whatever, and just a good guy. And he also helped when nobody wanted to cover the sport.
Yeah, man. Ryan was a quality broadcaster too. Like he could have done any sport, and I'm sure he did other sports. I know he did other sports. I don't remember exactly if it was baseball or football, but I know he did other sports.
He did other sports because he was the sports director at a TV station.
Yes.
So he did all that, and then he left that and he went to the Fight Network. And he was going to be the Burt Sugar of MMA.
Yeah.
And then the accident happened the following year, and it's a shame, and it's. If anybody deserves to be in, the UFC Hall of Fame, I think he is one because,
Definitely.
He helped get this off the ground.
I can only imagine what his body of work would look like now if he was still here.
And the difference between his body of work and my body of work is he would have documented his.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah. I didn't keep anything. I wished I had some interviews and stuff. I'd never thought of that stuff. Yeah. But he was the professional, and he would keep everything and all that kind of stuff. Well, let's hit the bottom of the hour, Yves, as always. Love seeing you, dude.
Always.
If you have time, let's grab some food. There's a great charity event tomorrow night if you want to go to it. Some food, some all sorts of stuff. We'll talk about it.
My man.
Pick you up. I'll bring you out to it. We'll have a good time.
Let's go.
All right, let's go hit a break. When we come back, Miranda Maverick here. So UFC in town. Nothing could be better. We'll be right back.